Welcome back, folks, to Let's Replay Mystic Quest, and when last we left off, things have gone from bad to worse, as Julius has managed to reach the Tree of Mana, and as we speak, he is draining the power from the Tree of Mana for his own nefarious ends, likely so that he can resurrect the Empire Wendel and rule the world with an iron fist of tyranny. So really not that much different than what Dark Lord was planning, except Julius is the one in charge. The only hope that the world has is for Jim to locate the one weapon that can defeat Julius. The weapon used before to defeat the Empire Wendel, the legendary blade Excalibur. You'd think that they'd keep that thing on hand just in case something bad happened, but it would seem that they didn't. Unfortunately, Bogard doesn't know where the weapon is, but he believes that Cibba in Wendel does, and so we decided not to head off to Wendel, and we are here, in a cave, about to fight a boss that we really shouldn't be fighting. The reason why we shouldn't be fighting it is because we are woefully underleveled and under-equipped to take this fight on. This is the optional boss, and a really difficult boss at that. This is the Lich. And what does the Lich do? Well, at the moment, the Lich can kill us in 2 hits. As you saw there, we took a lot of damage, and we really want to be at full health. You may be wondering, how are we going to survive this? Well, the answer is, while we're healing, we are invulnerable as long as the healing animation is taking place. Which means that if we're slow and careful, we can take on this boss and be victorious. We have to make sure after every movement cycle of the Lich that we are at full health and we have quite a bit of MP. Because if we run out of MP during his collisions with us, or the skulls hitting us, we will die. You can hit the skulls, which is good, but really we want to make sure that we don't get hit at all, like we were hit there, because we only have a finite amount of X-Ethers. We're going to be using pretty much all of them in this fight, but it will be worth it for us to gain this spell far earlier than we're meant to have it. There is a much better way to do this fight. We can equip ourselves much later on with a weapon that will heal us every single time we hit this opponent, which is the ideal weapon to use to defeat the Lich, and we'll also have a lot more MP, we'll have a lot better supplies, and I got hit there foolishly, which isn't good, because I missed a lot of attacks there. You can defeat this boss at this point. You also have to be very careful of the fact that when this boss dies, it will explode and that will damage you, and those explosions will kill you if you're not careful. 2 hits and we are dead, and we're already out of MP here, which isn't good. Fortunately, we can just use this and then be very careful not to get hit there. We need to be very quick in our movements, and I'm not being anywhere near fast enough and we are nearly dead, which isn't good because I really don't want to use that MP there. I think we do have enough X-Ethers though. We have about 3 or 4 left. That should be enough. And we're nearly at full health and we're already out of MP. We have an Ether, we could use that right now. And then we could use an X-Ether after this has finished its movement cycle. That's a good idea. This, unfortunately, is when I always fought the Lich. You can fight the Lich at any point as soon as the world opens up to you, but I always fought the Lich now. I don't know why I even found that the Lich was here. I think I just looked at the map and went, ooh, there's a cave there, I'll go in there. And guess what? That was a terrible mistake. Because in here is a boss that I thought I could surely beat this boss at this point, and guess what? I can, but technically I can defeat it. Realistically, I really shouldn't be fighting the Lich. The Lich is an opponent that appears in quite a lot of the Secret of Mana games following this one, and I think it's just as difficult, and that went much better because we didn't get hit at all there. Need to be very careful, and heal here, and heal there. That didn't go so badly. We even got a few hits in there. Not bad. Throw your skulls, Lich. We do not care for your skulls, as we have the Wind Spear, a very reliable weapon. And we hit again. Not bad. So if we go over here like that, and heal now, and then go down here, that's actually quite a good way of avoiding all of the skulls. Not bad. I'm learning even as I'm fighting for my very life against this boss. And we really want to make sure that we have enough MP here, just in case we die horribly, and also just in case we win. because the last thing I want to have happen is that we win, and then because of the explosions of the Lich, we lose. We want to attack here, and wait for this to... Oh, and we've messed this up. But that's okay, we only needed to heal a few times to survive there. Surely you're about to perish now, Mr. Lich. You may take a fair few more hits before that happens, and we need to heal right now because I don't want to die from the explosions. And we're already out of MP. That is unfortunate, because there's a good chance now that we are going to die. Unless I use an X-Cure. Maybe that will help. And it did just enough, which is fortunate. I really don't want to have Cure equipped right now. I want to use my last X-Ether. I hope that we're about to win, because if we're not about to win, this is going to go horribly, horribly wrong. Alright, one hit there. Carefully does it, Jim. Are we about to be victorious? I highly hope so. We are not about to be victorious. There has got to be a better way of avoiding damage here. That is probably the better way to avoid damage here. Yep, that's not a bad way at all. I've no idea why I haven't been doing that until now. But either way, 2 hits there, and 2 more hits here. There we go, or 1 more hit rather, but we'll get a few hits here. 1 is better than none. And we want to again go to the top here, and just avoid all of these. Go over here. Aha! I'm finally learning how to avoid all of these attacks. And it only took most of my resources to figure this out. 1 hit there, 1 hit there. Surely you're about to perish now, Mr. Lich, and you are gone. And we're healing just to be safe, and we have defeated the Lich and received the magic book of Nuke. We have learned Nuke. And then we leave this cave as we never need to go here ever again. We now have all the magic in the game, and we're going to ride the Chocobot to safety, because there is no way that I'm dying to these opponents after I've defeated the Lich after using nearly all of my X-Ethers. There is one bonus that I can think of because of this. We have a very empty inventory, which means that we can pick up pretty much everything that we encounter now as we travel around. Hooray! We consumed all of our X-Ethers. But we can get more X-Ethers. What we can't get a replacement for is the Nuke spell, and I think we also got a fair amount of experience for doing that fight. We're probably going to gain a level rather soon. What we need to find is we need to find the way to get to Wendel. We're going to find a river at some point that we're going to go up. We're getting pretty close, as you can see there. I think it's this way. Yep, this is where Wendel is, and we're going to ask to get off the Chocobo and throw that spear. We might as well rest while we're here. I'm sure Cibba will want to get an update as to what's been going on, and he won't be happy to find out that everything has gone wrong. But for now, 10 GP a night, that's a bargain. Good night. Good morning. And now we're off to go and talk to Cibba. Surely Cibba is going to be where he was before, in the temple. It's time to have a look inside, and if he's there, have a conversation. I'm sure he has much to tell us about Excalibur, and he is not here. Where is the important NPC that we need to talk to? Are we going to have to talk to the various people in town and find out where he's gone? The answer is yes. And you need to talk to this person here. Lorim was attacked by many monsters. Cibba went there. Lorim is south of the snowfield over the southern sea. Thanks for the very specific directions, because we're going to be using them to find Lorim in near record time. And for some reason, the music has changed to Endless Battlefield when it really shouldn't be Endless Battlefield. It will change back eventually. We need to leave Wendel as there is nothing else for us here, and we need to go and find the snowfields. And to find the snowfields, we need to, I think those are the snowfields. We're going to follow the land here until we find an area where we can head south, which is here. And by following this river that is guarded by these flame-spewing seahorses, we'll eventually find a small area where we can go back onto land. It is over here. There we go. We'll just ignore these enemies and appear here. Excellent. And now that we've disembarked the Chocobo, the music has changed back, and there is Springy Steve. We're going to equip the right weapon to take care of Springy Steve, the Morning Star, that may or may not be a flail. Have at thee, Springy Steve! Aha! And Springy Steve is no more, and neither is this enemy. Down we go, we're going to... Uh-oh, that's not good. And by leaving the screen, all the enemies have reappeared. In fact, there are more enemies than there were before. Curses, Springy Steve! You have foiled me once again! And we found some ruby. That's not going to replace all the X-Ethers that we had, but hey, we have the nuke spell. Why don't we show off what the nuke spell does, eh? We equip it, and then we cast it, and there is a massive explosion, and it does absolutely nothing to that enemy. Why am I getting the feeling that going to get the nuke spell wasn't worth it right now? We're going to be using it later. Quite a lot. Watch out, Springy Steve! You may be flailing for a chance for success, but you won't find one. Ha-ha! Here is Lorem. Let's go in, shall we? Wait for me. And here is some sinister music. Frozen. Uh-oh. That is not good. Something bad has happened here. It's frozen. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything here unless we find somebody that hasn't been frozen. Is there anyone that hasn't been frozen? This door is locked. Now we can unlock this using a key. It's a good thing we still have some of those. Who is in here? There's somebody that's frozen. Alright. Anything here? The answer is no. Something has gone terribly wrong here, and we're going to have to figure out what and how to undo it. Is this door able to be opened? The answer is yes. And there is one person that hasn't been frozen. Julius has summoned monsters in this world. One called Carey in the snowfield has frozen us. Cibba came, but he's stuck in the other room. It is dangerous to keep them all frozen for long. You're not wrong there, it is dangerous to keep people frozen for long. In fact, I'm surprised that any of your subjects are still alive. And you know, we could just melt the ice on the door to get Cibba out. No, 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 you have to defeat Carey in the snowfields, that's the only way. Fair enough, so off we go to defeat a boss so that we can unfreeze all the people in Lorem. And we don't get a heal, so we're just going to take Chocobot with us and move on. Sometimes I'll call Chocobo Chocobot, sometimes I'll call it Chocobo. It's pretty much the same either way, except one of them is stating that it has robotic parts, and the other is just stating what it is. So we're going to move on and find our way to the snowfield to defeat these really, really easy enemies. And that's going to be a candy, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm sure we'll have plenty of use for that. He lied, as we have no use for that at all. There we go. One hit there. The advantage of the flail is that the flail can hit Springy Steve even when he jumps on us. So we're going to be very careful here. It might actually be a good idea to go and head to an inn before we go to the north, because we're going to be chopping down these trees to get there, I believe. So we're going to head back to Wendel and very quickly replenish our hit points. Can't hurt after all, and we've more than made up the 10 gold pieces that it's going to cost to do that. Alright, Chocobot, get us to Wendel. Now that we know how to get there, it shouldn't be too difficult to backtrack. North here, following this river. It's a very convenient river, I have to say. Also, I have no idea why there are enemies there, because you'll never get the opportunity to attack those enemies because you can't fight enemies while you're a Chocobo. And there are no platforms or anything that you can use to get to that area. And here we are, back at Wendel. Don't mind us, we're just popping in to take advantage of the very cheap inn. There we go. Into Wendel we go. And we're just going to rest for 10 gold pieces. Back already? Oh, you're heading to the snowfields? You're probably going to die horribly. Good night. Good morning. And off we go. The music will have switched back, and now we have to ride the Chocobot to the snowfields. There's no chance that we're going to have an easy journey. Ha ha ha! We're going to go there right now before more puns happen. that is an area we're going to get to eventually, but not just yet. The snowfields are very dangerous. There are snowmen that move around, there are floating wolves' heads, and there are very angry walruses, all of whom want to kill us. And I've no idea how we're ever going to fight you. I don't think we ever do. Having the flame whip equipped, or the flame chain rather, is likely a good idea, as it's going to be a very powerful weapon here. But right now we're going to have to equip the were axe so that we can chop down those trees. It is time to disembark Chocobot and kill all of these enemies. We'll get rid of this, and that, and this, and that. And 2 hits here. You should be gone, or is it 3 hits? It's 3 hits with the were axe. Alright, flame chain equipped, and we have 2 out of 3 pieces of the flame armor. We should be okay. Let's go up here, and this foe actually can't be hurt by the flame whip. That's surprising. And so we're going to cross this bridge and head into the snowfields. It's too cold for you ahead. Wait for me here. We can't use the Chocobot here, and that makes this a lot more difficult, as we're going to have to navigate around very carefully and not have to rely on the fact that we can just escape whenever we like. Fortunately, the flame chain is very useful here. Getting it early is a great idea. 2 hits and pretty much everything dies here, and everything drops quite a lot of money. What is over here but 2 snowmen? 1 snowman. No snowmen. And this is a shop. But what does it sell? The answer is, it sells X-Cures, Pures, eye drops, and everything that we could possibly want, but all we're going to get are some keys. Because all we need to do are open some doors eventually. Alright, we'll heal up and move on. We're looking for a very particular place. We're going to find the entrance to the Snow Cave. At least I think that's what it's called. And we've gained a level up. Always nice to get. We're going to need a lot more of them before we complete this game, that's for sure. We are now even stronger. Have at thee, walrus monster! And the walrus monster is dead. We're going to defeat these snowmen. 1 hit only with the flame chain. Not bad. There are a lot of enemies here though, and this enemy dropped a blizzard. This does not surprise me considering where we are. And 1 hit there, and you're gone. Excellent. Down here are 2 snowmen struggling to free themselves from their snowy confines. I helped them by killing them. I don't think that actually helped them at all, I just think they're dead now. But moving on. We're going to head south here, as I think we are heading in the right direction for where we want to get to. You are dead, and we already have 8,000 gold. These enemies drop a lot of money. Why a snowman needs money, I don't know, but we'll take it anyway. You're gone. I imagine these enemies have some nasty status effects they inflict, but we may never find out, as we haven't actually been hit by any of them. You are also gone. Excellent. And over here is a cave entrance. I imagine that is where we want to go. But before we go that way, we're just going to explore around and see if there are any shops or weapon places that we could purchase better equipment. We're definitely going to need some equipment. There is a blizzard magic, and 1 hit there. Nope, 2 hits there, and you are gone. Anything over here? There is nothing over here but some snowmen. So when we come back, folks, we're going to go into this snowy cave and try and defeat Kari. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. It might be pronounced Kari. But either way, the boss will fall. And then the people of Lorim will be free from their curse. And then we can go talk to Cibba and find out where Excalibur is. At least I hope so anyway. So I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.